Yeah, look at,
Starting again,
we go.
get myself. You're on.
You have the recordings? We're live and in person.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. City Council of the City of Sandy Oaks, Texas, regular meeting agenda, August 11th, 2020 at 6:30 p.m. Notice is hereby given that this is a regular meeting of the City Council of the City of Sandy Oaks, Texas, being held today, Thursday, August 11th, 2022 at 6:30 p.m. at City Hall, 22870 Priest Road, Sandy Oaks, Texas, where a quorum of the City Council will be present. All agenda items are subject to action. The City of Sandy Oaks will also provide a live stream video and telephonic access of the meeting through Zoom. The public will be permitted to offer public comments in person, telephonically, or by video as provided by the agenda and as permitted by the presiding officer during the meeting by signing up with the city secretary at least 15 minutes in advance of the meeting, if providing comments in person, and at least 2 hours in advance of the meeting by emailing cityclerk@cityofsandyoaks.com or by calling 210-607-0834 if speaking telephonically or by video. Written comments may be submitted to the city secretary after 2 hours before the meeting by emailing cityclerk@cityofsandyoaks.com and will be provided to the city council for their consideration. A recording of the telephonic meeting will be made and will be available to the public in accordance with the Texas Public Information Act upon written request. May I have call to order and quorum call?
You sound winded. Mayor Pro Tem Martinez,
Here.
Alderwoman Martinez,
Here.
Alderwoman Alvarado,
Present.
Alderman Rapino,
Here.
Alderman Coffindaffer.
Here.
We also have City Attorney Cassandra Ortiz and myself. We have the quorum, sir.
All right, thank you. I ask all to rise to the Pledge of Allegiance. Gentlemen, please remove your hats.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible.
Ms. Yeldon, did we have anyone to speak?
Yes, sir, we did. I was just giving Mr. Paulson a sign up to speak.
Okay, thank you. Paul Smith, you have the floor, sir.
I don't think I need to stand for this.
Speak loud.
I do speak loud. Come a little farther forward. So a little over 3 weeks ago on Hickory Shadow, a neighbor of mine, elderly gentleman, diabetes, hearing impaired a little bit, visually impaired, mobility impaired. I see him most every morning out in the yard, walking his yard. That morning was no difference. It was about 8 o'clock. I waved at him. He didn't see it. That's pretty normal. I went to let my dogs inside the front door and I heard a gunshot. I looked to my right and I saw him fall to the ground. I ran in and told my wife what was going on, that there was an issue next door. And I immediately ran outside wearing just a pair of jeans, no shoes, no shirt, no nothing. Only thing I could grab was my phone. I called his daughter at work and told her I need her home now. Something happened to her dad. I then called 911. This house is one house away from mine. When I got there, there was obviously no one was filming because he had stuck a pistol underneath his chin with a 45 and shot straight up. He didn't even move or flinch. It was a terrible sight. 911 never answered for 7 minutes. Then I tried 911 again. I hung up, tried him again. By that time, I'd gone to their son-in-law's house across the street and woke the son-in-law up. And he called 911 and went over and looked to see if there was anything he could do. There was nothing. Still no answer for another, I think, 9 minutes that time. I hung up and tried the city marshal's phone number that I had. No answer. Leave a voicemail. I tried the city of Sandy Oaks, the office here for the secretary. Voicemail. Voicemail's full. Hung up, tried back again. I tried for Public Works, same thing, voicemail full. I hung up again and tried animal control. No answer, voicemail full. I hung up, called 911 again. No answer for another 6 minutes. I hung up, called Bear County non-emergency and had to tell the lady, just shut the hell up. This is what I need to tell you and I need help right now. It's 23 minutes now. Now, my problem with this is 911 never ever called me back. And they're supposed to call you back on a hang-up. And it told me, please wait on the line. So it registered my call, but I never got a call back, ever. My neighbor, the house behind the individual that was deceased, they had a Bear County sheriff show up 3 days later.
Yeah.
Want to know if he hung up? Is that my time? So anyway, long story short, 911 doesn't work. You can't count on it. So if had it been somebody that I was trying to give CPR to, how am I supposed to travel through the phone and find numbers that work? Because 911 obviously doesn't work all the time. I got a friend of mine, his cousin is John Lujan, and his son had a medical issue. And 911 didn't work for him a week before that. He lives over on the far west side of town. So 911 doesn't work. I was gracious enough to get a call back from the mayor. He said he'd have the chief of police call me. Never got that call.
Excuse me. I've actually gone to the county on that.
Well, I superseded all that, went straight to John Lujan. So that's where I'm working. So I don't mean to be a pain in the ass. It's just one of you people or one day is gonna need 911 and it's not there. You can't count on it. We need to do something different. We need to have this office man 24 or during regular business hours. This happened at 8 o'clock in the morning. I mean, I don't know what else to say. We lost a good friend that day. That's pretty much all I got to say.
I'm sorry for your loss.
I gotta run to the hospital.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Any others?
No, sir.
Thank you. I don't have a lot of announcements tonight, so let's move right along to the consent agenda. Item 6. I should put my glasses on, shouldn't I? Agenda item 5. All matters listed under consent agenda are considered routine by the City Council of the City of Sandy Oaks, Texas, and will be enacted by one motion. There will not be separate discussion of each of these items. If discussion is desired, then that item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately. I'll entertain a motion for.
Mayor, the 5A is not ready. The minutes are not ready, so.
Okay,
hold on.
then we will postpone agenda item 5A until our next business meeting.
I'll make a motion that we approve the consent agenda except for item A.
One second.
Okay, I have a motion to approve the consent agenda with the exception of 5A. May I have a second?
I second.
I have a motion from Alderman Rapino and a second by Alderwoman Alvarado. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That carries unanimously. Agenda item number 6. The income and expenses for July 2022 will be reported by City Secretary Catherine Yelton with possible discussion or action.
So for the general fund, the balance as of January 1st, 2022 was $251,766.86. We had checks and payments of $90,371.54. Deposits and credits of $59,404.80. And we had an ending balance as of July 31st, 2022 of $220,800.12. And I numbered the pages this time, so if you would flip to page 13. Everything between page 1 and 13 is all budget breakdown. Going to the auto account. The beginning balance as of July 1st was $472,438.53. We had checks and payments of $14,825.77, leaving an ending balance as of July 31st of $457,612.76. Flipping the page to 15, the bond account. Opening balance as of July 1st, $664,128.93. We did have a couple of payments that were for the, one was for the 6S invoice from the last council meeting. And then we had a credit of $26.12, which was the interest deposit, leaving a balance as of July 31st, 2022 of $659,780.25.
If there's no discussion, I'll move that we accept the, approve the budget report, as reported.
Okay, if there's no exception, no discussion, Alderman Rapino has moved to approve the financial report.
I do have a question.
Yes,
So we switched to page 10. Can you explain what OCA fees are? And why, basically why we're already at budget?
The OCA fees are what are paid quarterly to the state from the fees that fund that are collected for the court. So, I'm thinking that former Mayor Ball had put that number in there, compared to last year, and then we've brought in more and fines and fees, so we're going to pay out more to the state.
Okay. Question regarding fuel. So I've noticed a lot of pilot, obviously, but every once in a while, there's some Quick Trip. Is there, with the pilot card, is there an incentive to use the pilot card?
There's no incentive to use either. It's just when pilot, they were getting to the point for some reason it was only taking $2.
Right, I saw that, yeah.
So then we went to the Quick Trip QT.
So we do have a Quick Trip card?
Yes, I just haven't gotten a statement to be able to do in QuickBooks or.
I may have asked this previously, but is there any reason why we don't just use a Chase credit card? So that way we could use it at multiple locations, the Valero to start with right here. Instead of,
Honestly, it would be a nightmare for me to try to reconcile the credit card on top of all the other purchases we make on the credit card. I wouldn't do it.
I know we use a fuel card and it separates it per user.
Yeah.
And so if you have to print out a transactions of how many or how often they're putting, you're readily available, so it's really good to navigate.
Yeah.
We
But
like
then
to
you're giving
Bookkeeping a lot easier.
does Pilot have that, like a dashboard that shows the users?
transact.
Oh, yeah.
That's right there.
Okay.
The reports and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they don't offer any discounts per gallon. Pilot doesn't.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, we have a fleet one. I don't know, is yours a
I mean,
fleet?
yeah, it is a fleet card. I mean, I really haven't calculated it. I'd have to look into whether.
Yeah, ours is not everywhere. but when it does give it, it's substantial.
Well,
Mhm.
I mean, with rising costs, right, let's take that back and look into it.
For officers, when they refuel their vehicles, they put the mileage of the vehicle, they put their badge number
Mhm.
and everything that's
In the
on there.
machine.
So
Okay.
they get all that.
Mhm.
Okay. Cool.
So we can-
Other discussion?
okay.
Okay, I still have a motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, I have a motion from Alderman Rupino to approve the financial report, seconded by Alderwoman Martinez. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's unanimous. It's beating me up. The papers, it's beating me up. Okay, agenda item 7. Police Department, updates and announcements from Chief Lopez with possible discussion and or action. What you got for us, Chief?
Good evening, Mayor, council members and men and women. Just to put out, we had placed an advertisement for animal control position. We found a candidate and hopefully we should be filling that in the next couple of weeks or so.
Yes, sir. Okay, he was introduced before you arrived.
Okay.
Uh, that is great news. I just can't tell you how excited I am about that. Okay, anything else, Chief?
The new other patrol vehicle is almost done. It should be hopefully be ready by next week. Still waiting on some other things to be installed.
It's pretty. Okay, if there's nothing else, we'll move along to agenda item 7B, presentation of monthly report by Chief Lopez with possible discussion and or action.
So for the month of July, San Diego's Police Department monthly activity, if you again pull those two papers out. So starting off the month of July for court defendants, we had 58 individuals for that, 111 cases. Traffic stops definitely increased. We had 116 traffic stops within the month of July. 148 citations were issued, 52 warnings were given. Calls for service, we actually had about between 55 and 60 calls for service within the two officers. Corporal Castillo had 23 calls for service reports, and then Officer Maldonado had 35 reports, calls for service as well. We had 9 arrests for the month of July, going down to assist other law enforcement agency. We had 3 calls for service for there. Bexar County Fire Department as well, 2 calls for service, assisting with them. 9 calls for service for EMS calls, dropping down to animal cruelty/neglect. 3 calls for service for there, 1 animal dog loose, 1 horse call, 1 call for service for assault, 1 burglary of a residence, and 4 civil matters calls for service. Then we had CLB legal burning, 1 call for service there, 2 damaged properties, 2 disturbance families, calls for service, 3 disturbance verbals, 1 emergency detention, 1 information call, 2 narcotics laws, 1 reckless driver. 3rd page, we had 1 call for service for suspicious activity, and 2 calls for service for suspicious person, 2 thefts, 1 threats call, and 5 welfare checks, and 1 for vehicle. So for the month of July on arrest, we had I believe 8 SAPD traffic warrant arrests on there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 residents were arrested, and I believe 2 were non-residents. And then we had 1 burglary rehabilitation county warrant as well. So the month of July was pretty productive on arrests.
Busy month.
Usually the summer months, beginning, between June, July, and August, it just gets busy.
Okay. Thank you, Chief,
Yes, sir.
and Calumet, thank you also.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, agenda item number 8, animal control updates and announcements from Animal Control Advisory Committee Chair, Alderwoman Martinez, with possible discussion and or action. You have the floor, ma'am.
We've got 8 in custody. 2 are leaving this week. 4 of those 8 are animal cruelty cases. Yeah.
How many are animal cruelty?
Fiona left today. 4 for animal cruelty. And Fiona left today.
Okay. I'm going to ask you a question. Maybe you don't know the answer to, but somebody here will. What is the longest term we've had an animal in custody that's in custody today?
Well, it's Fiona, yeah. So 180 days, right?
6 months.
6 months?
In custody today?
She was in her for 6 months.
Ma'am?
Fiona's been the longest one that we've had here. She was picked up today by the rescues, so she's no longer with us.
Okay, when was she picked up?
Maybe 3 months.
Yeah.
I want to give it 3 months at least.
Okay,
10 of it was quarantine, so a little less than 3 months.
okay. Thank you. Anything else, Alderwoman Martinez?
No, that's all for now.
Okay, the agenda item 9, Parks and Recreation, update and announcements from Park Advisory Committee Chair Alderman Rapino, possible discussion and or action.
I don't have much to report. Our next meeting will be September the 6th. We did bring on a new member and we had a good meeting. Our last meeting, our meeting in July. So hopefully our September meeting will be equally as good. And that's all I have.
Bring cake to the meeting, sir. That's my birthday.
Oh, well, happy birthday in advance, and I will bring cake.
Okay, with that said, agenda item number 10, Public Works, discuss and or possible action on adding a Public Works module to the iWork platform. Alderman Martinez, you missed some of our last meeting. Well, you missed our entire last meeting.
Good call.
One of the discussions we had was moving forward and the need to maintain an inventory of capital assets, which we have some assets recorded in various and sundry places with various and sundry programs. So iWork, which you and I are familiar with, has a module specifically for Public Works. It is a maintenance, work order, and inventory program all wrapped up into one. We can track city-owned assets, buildings, vehicles, stop signs, park benches. If we consider a capital asset as anything that we expect to last over a year, which is the state definition, or anything we expect to last over 2 years, which is the federal definition of capital assets, we just need to determine a capitalization level of how many dollars. Among our many capital assets is 29.5 miles of road. And this program will allow us to grade and set a maintenance program up for that. It will allow us to set a maintenance program up for the buildings, for the vehicles. We're already tracking mileage. So all we have to do is plug that number in when a vehicle needs to be maintained. It also includes a GIS map, which is Geographical Information Services, that will track every street sign, how old it is, what condition it's in. We have noted some of the signs need to be replaced. And a street sign should last 15 or 16 years. We need a program to get on top of all of our capital assets. Bridges, guardrails, and culverts should be inspected. To the best of my knowledge, none of them have been in the last 8 years, other than the new culvert down on Waltz Hills. So I'm recommending we add this module to our existing platform. It also tracks work orders for public works and citizen requests, and tracks man hours where and when. So I'm recommending that we sign a contract with iWorks for the service. The initial cost is $8,000 for the first year, which includes implementation and training. The continuing expense is $6,000 a year, which breaks down to $500 a month. And I would venture to say that will be a lot cheaper in the long run than trying to hire somebody to track all of these things in Excel or some other program. So I'm making a recommendation that we institute the Public Works module into iWorks.
So if I get this right, we're already using iWorks, correct?
We use iWorks for code enforcement and permitting
Okay, so
currently.
it's an interface that everybody's familiar with.
Maybe not everybody.
Well, I know we're not, but
Well, I thought I included you on the email that said training's available, but if I didn't, I will.
well, I don't have a purpose to be in it. I'm not looking for the training. What I'm looking at is for our city employees. It's something that they're already familiar with. So the transition to add this to the program is not going to be, it's not going to be a steep learning curve is what I'm getting at.
Correct.
Well, it.
Okay.
Just for public works.
Just for public works.
So they didn't-
I got a lot of faith in our young lady that's in charge of that.
So, yeah, she actually, yeah, she was with me for the demo, and we believe we can implement it
Okay.
fairly smoothly.
What do we pay for our current, our work service, or do we?
Oh, yes, we
I
do.
figured we did, but I just.
And I disremember the number off the top of my head.
Okay.
I was allowed to be a part of that at that time, so.
Yeah,
that's why.
It was further back than yesterday, sir, so I just remember.
It's 20 minutes ago.
Who's going to be the data administrator that's going to inventory everything and
That in.
Well, sir,
That takes some time.
I would say, and this is just me talking, the heads of the departments,
I agree, I
uh,
agree,
The way it should work.
but do they agree?
the chief of police will inventory his vehicles, electronics. The city clerk will inventory her electronics. Public works get to inventory buildings and air conditioners and street signs and their vehicles, so,
But at least it's a one-time setup,
Yeah.
and then after that, it's just one item or
I-
two. Or-
I
It's
will,
annual, probably.
I will step right up and say, our employees are a fully functional team and they assist one another, regularly.
Understandable. Where is this gonna fall in? Is it gonna be split amongst the two departments that have the most of the assets?
As
Budget
far as budget wise, no, it should go under public works. Somebody has to stand the gap, sir. We can either put it in under administrative expenses, along with my recollection is we bought a 3-year term with iWorks to begin with. But in the future, iWorks will be an administrative expense as far as code compliance and permitting. I could see this going in as an administrative expense also. Because although it's labeled public works, inventory and capital assets for the entire city kind of spreads that out among every department. So, sir, I yield to your accounting expertise as to where it should be, expensed.
Jennifer.
Yeah, I mean, I can agree that it should be an administrative fee. That doesn't mean that each department doesn't take a part of it. In my accounting experience, if it's a mutual program that multiple departments are gonna share, they usually split it amongst the two. Whatever the percentages that they have.
Well, I can do
Wait a
that
minute.
because it sounds as if this one will renew each year on the anniversary of the agreement date. So I'm gonna know that this one, when we get billed, will be for public works, and the previous one will be, I guess, for the police department, since animal control and code enforcement go under that. Then when we get that bill, I'll just assign it to account it for the police department. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Yeah, except we also have the permitting fee that should be an administrative expense.
Yeah.
I can give it to them.
Okay, I'm going to yield that discussion between yourself, Mr. Martinez, and Ms. Young.
my only concern is that it doesn't get used. We can use it for the assets part, I can see that clearly. But when it comes to the work orders, the hour tracking, it's gonna be, I'm assuming it's going to be a ton of manual entry, and we're not gonna get our dollars worth. But other than that, I mean, the quarterly GIS updates, the asset management, the open street map, the track your bridges, culverts and ditches, all that makes perfect sense. I think that has no problem. But I just don't see the work scheduling part.
Well, I will step up on that, sir, because I spent many, many years doing work schedules. We January or February approved an agreement for annual maintenance on the air conditioning units. Hadn't been done yet.
Yeah.
Okay. If,
They should have been here.
sir, doesn't matter who it should have been. Yeah, if it's programmed into a system like this, the calendar comes up and says air conditioning inspection. And the administrator will have a red flag, has this been done?
And that's what it provides.
That's part of the work scheduling, yes. All the preventive maintenance, buildings, vehicles.
So it's not just about the
mechanicals.
work schedule of who's coming in at what time. It's also, like you're saying, the preventive maintenance, the
Schedule
things that
maintenance.
that we may not be watching over all the time because it's just not on our mind today.
Yeah.
So if we got services due on patrol cars, if we got services due on public works vehicles,
And I agree for the asset management because that's during the audit, that's the one thing that we struggled to provide as a list of assets. And so we're going back and forth. Well, when do we buy this? Well, when do we buy that?
Mm-hmm.
Receipt.
So I completely agree that we can use it at a tune of $8,000 and $6,000 annually is where I struggle, but if there's benefit for the program and we force ourselves to utilize it,
I,
Only gonna get
Well, even
more.
if you use 5 or 6 of what's listed, it's a basic package, so you're gonna get it anyways.
Yeah.
You're gonna use what's the most important.
And we're only gonna get more stuff to track,
Yeah.
so we better
Do
catch it now.
Instead of paying your.
and that's what I'm trying to say,
Catch it
Yeah.
now.
okay?
yeah, we need it now.
We, this
We need a
city
motion.
started with zero money in the bank,
Mhm.
okay? Over the course of the last 8 years, we have bought a building that's in the park now. We bought this building. We bought an animal control facility. How many police vehicles do we have, chief?
too many,
When we first started,
not enough in these offices.
No, today.
uh,
Total.
4. We have the Taurus, we have the Impala, and we have the Tahoe and Explorer.
Expedition.
Don't forget.
A- and- And we're getting another one,
It's 4.
okay?
The more we
So-
get, the more officers we'll have to fill in.
Public Works has a vehicle, administration has a vehicle, the animal control has a vehicle. 8 years ago, we had 0 vehicles.
Yeah,
We didn't have a tractor, we didn't have a lawnmower, we didn't have,
Two tractors.
we didn't have we didn't have trailers.
cheaper.
Yeah, and what I'm saying is it's time to start tracking things in a business-like manner and listen to the auditor that we pay to give us advice every year, and we've not done it yet. I say, let this be the year when we start taking grown-up steps
Absolutely.
to
Big
do
city.
business
Big city idea.
like a business.
Mhm.
Just saying.
We just
We're not trying to be a big city, but we're trying to help run this one correctly.
Yeah.
So I guess we're looking for a motion to accept this, and I'd have to say I'd make that motion. Am I correct?
We need a motion to approve the contract and an authorization for someone to complete it.
And I say, I'd like to make a motion to approve this contract.
Mayor, before, there are
Yes, ma'am.
certain
Oh, there's.
provisions or statements required by state law that are required in this contract. The last agreement with, iWorkQ, we added as an addendum. So it would be the same, for example, they cannot boycott certain countries. They cannot be in business with certain countries, and that's required by state law. So with that,
Do you need to look over this first?
I've looked over it and on the actual contract, I guess the only concerns were that it is under the laws of the state of Utah. I would suggest Texas. And just the termination clause really only allows after a 3-year term. I don't know if that's the standard for what we have with them currently. I don't remember. But if that's a concern for council.
Okay, sir, I need a motion to accept the contract after approval and amendment by the city attorney and an authorization for someone to sign the contract.
So what I'm saying is that I'm making a motion that we accept this contract after approval from the city attorney. And as far as somebody to, what'd you call that again? To sign the contract,
Yes,
to include yourself and Mayor Pro Tem authorized to sign the contract once it's approved by
okay.
the city attorney.
I have a motion from Alderman Coppendapper to approve the agreement after being amended by the city attorney, authorizing the mayor to complete the contract. Point of order, sir.
Mhm.
You don't have to add the mayor pro tem, because if the mayor cannot or will not fulfill his duties, the mayor pro tem automatically has that authority. So the motion is, as stated, if there's no further discussion, I would entertain a second. Okay, I have a second from Alderwoman Martinez. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Okay, that's unanimously approved, ma'am. Woohoo! Okay, administration, old business. Catherine, you did add the
Yeah, it's in there.
phases. Is it in here?
Yeah,
There's
I would
one page.
that's all.
That's the one.
Discussion of the master plan.
That's another master plan?
Administration, old business, discussion and or possible action regarding master plan summary and goals. It was a 4-page document I sent to you.
Yeah, I got it here somewhere.
I did not see it in here anywhere, sir.
You wanna look at it? I printed your email off.
Oh, you printed my email off, but if everybody did, Captain, we will postpone that item. Okay, we're gonna postpone that item.
Okay, I'll put it back in the folder for later.
Notes.
Okay. You want a short meeting tonight? Okay, then we'll go to agenda item 12, administration, new business. Discuss and or possible action on ordinance 2022-208, ordering a general election to be held on November 8th, 2022 for the purpose of electing the mayor, Alderman Place 2, Alderman Place 4, and a special election to be held on November 8th, 2022 for the purpose of electing Alderman Place 1 for an unexpired term, Alderman Place 5 for an unexpired term, designating location of polling place, ordering notice of election of to be given as prescribed by law in connection with such election, authorizing execution of joint agreement and providing for an effective date. Would you like to take over, Alderwoman,
If you'd like,
please?
okay. Discutir o acción posible tocante una ordenanza del Consejo Municipal de la ciudad de Sandy Oaks, Texas, pide una elección general que se celebra el 8 de noviembre de 2022, con el propósito de elegir el alcalde, el concejal del lugar 2 y el concejal del lugar 4, y una elección especial que se celebra el 8 de noviembre 2022 con el propósito de elegir el concejal del lugar 1, duración restante del cargo, y el concejal del lugar 5, duración restante del cargo. Designación de ubicación del lugar de votación, pedidos aviso de elección para darse prevista por la ley en relación con dicha elección, autorizar el acuerdo conjunto y modo de una fecha efectiva.
Okay, thank you. So we're gonna have an election in November, and we must have an ordinance passed to do that. Any further discussion? If not, I would entertain a motion.
I move that we accept or I guess
Adopt.
adopt ordinance number 2022-208. An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Sandy Oaks, Texas, ordering a general election to be held on November 8th, 2022 for the purpose of electing the mayor, Alderman Place 2 and Alderman Place 4 in a special election to be held on November 8th, 2022, and for the purpose of electing Alderman Place 1 unexpired term and Alderman Place 5 unexpired term, designating location of polling place and ordering the notice of election to be given as prescribed by law in connection with such election, authorizing execution of joint agreement and providing for effective date. And what Alderwoman Alvarez said.
Okay, sir. I have a motion from Alderman Rapino to adopt ordinance number 2022-208. Do I have a second?
I'll second. that we
I have a
adopt it.
second by Alderman Coppendapper. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's unanimous.
Mayor Cullen, so this is an ordinance that requires everyone's signature, so if you could stay behind after the meeting to ensure, since I have it. Ensure you sign it.
The boss has spoken. Everybody stay after the meeting to sign the ordinance.
Oh, my family's not watching this on video. They're gonna think I made up a story that I had to stay after school.
Mrs. Yelton will give you a note, sir.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Agenda item 12B, discuss and/or possible action on ordinance number 2022-209, terminating the mayor's declaration of local state disaster due to public health emergency issued on March 23rd, 2020, and repealing ordinance number 2020-159. This is just a little legal cleanup. When the mayor makes a declaration, and the council extends the declaration, that ordinance stays in effect, giving the mayor emergency powers until it's repealed. The emergency's over, so let's repeal the emergency declaration. That's my take on it. Discussion, questions?
Yep.
I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we adopt ordinance number 2022-209.
Okay, I have a motion to adopt ordinance number 2022-209.
Second.
And I have from Alderman Coppendapper, I have a second from Alderman Rapino. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's unanimous, man. Just for a point of order, because the declaration is a health and safety issue, we will not require a second reading on that ordinance, nor the upcoming agenda item 12C, discuss and or possible action on ordinance 2022-210, terminating the mayor's declaration of local state of disaster due to severe winter weather emergency issued on February 14th, 2021, and repealing ordinance number 2021-177. Same thing. Just some legal house cleaning.
Okay,
If there's no discussion, I'd entertain a motion.
okay, I move that we adopt ordinance number 2022-210.
Alderman Rapino has
second.
made a motion to adopt ordinance number 2022-210, and Alderman Coffin-Dapper has second. If there's no discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that's unanimous. Okay. Agenda item 12D, discuss enter possible action on resolution 2022-166 and not acknowledging receipt of certified appraisal roll and tax calculation worksheet and related matters. So resolution 2022-166 says we received our tax rate calculation worksheet from Bear County and related matters. Here we go. So any questions, discussion?
So we just need a motion to adopt this resolution.
If there's no discussion, we need a motion to adopt the resolution.
Okay, I'd make a motion to adopt resolution 2022-166, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Sandy Oaks, Texas, acknowledging receipt of a certified appraisal roll and tax rate calculation worksheet and containing related provisions. Do we need a voice vote on this? Counselor? No? Okay.
That which,
That's it.
okay, so Alderman Rupino has made a motion to adopt resolution number 2022-166, acknowledging receipt of certified appraisal roll. If there's no discussion, may I have a second?
I second it.
And Alderwoman Martinez seconds the motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that's unanimous. Okay, discuss enter possible action on appointment to Planning and Zoning Commission. I've had no nominees brought to my attention. Anybody else? Okay, then we shall postpone that until we have a nominee. I would entertain the motion on agenda item 13.
I
I'd
make
like
a
to
motion.
adopt a motion.
Go ahead, I'll ask you.
Okay, wait, who made the motion?
I'm making a motion that we adjourn.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to adjourn. We stand adjourned at 7:24. We don't even have to vote.
I have a question.
Aye.